Today in the crypto space, we see the market taking a bit of a dip. Bitcoin down approximately 1.5%, and Ethereum down a little bit, still hovering around the $2,400 mark. However, we have some of these altcoins coming down to lower levels like Near Protocol, Caspa, Stacks, and Tau, just to name a few. In today's video, I want to talk about the general market. I want to use Bitcoin as a leading indicator, but I do want to focus on Bitcoin, guys, because Bitcoin did break some horizontal support on lower time frames, and the question is it going to continue to the downside? So you know what, let's talk about the news, let's analyze the charts, and let's strategize to capitalize. Welcome to the channel. My name is Mike, and let's get right into it, guys. If you're new to the channel, welcome. On the channel, we talk about cryptocurrency, Bitcoin, Ethereum, and all the altcoins, looking for opportunity. Whether we go up or down, bearish or bullish, it doesn't matter. All we want to do is stay one step ahead of the market so that we can capitalize on any of the volatility. And if you appreciate the strategy, subscribe to the channel, click the bell so you don't miss out on any of my future videos, including the live streams at 8 p.m. EST, where we talk about crypto news and price action. Guys, if you have any projects you want me to cover here on the channel, feel free to let me know in the comment section below. You can hit me up on the socials. The links are in the description. Better yet, guys, join the Discord. The Discord is where it's at. Lots of good alpha, trade setups, fundamentals, and learning material. The best part is it's absolutely free. All right, guys, let's begin. Let's see what's going on here. We're seeing a bit of weakness on Bitcoin. We do see that the market cap is still holding up okay. We see it still right around 2.2 trillion. Just a little bit higher than that. Yes, it came down 2.8%. We do see a slow grind to the downside. Trading volume is also grinding to the downside. Not much market participation in this dip either. So you can see that a lot of people are not really in that much consensus for this. Now, could it be just a temporary pullback where we get more volume to the upside, and maybe we get another push up with regards to market cap? Now, if that happens, that's great. We got volume to the upside, market cap growth, but we can also get volume to the upside while we see the market cap fall. So we have to keep in mind that market trading volume is just an indication of market participation. How many individuals are there on the market? And obviously we could make a bit of a reference to the fact that if the market cap is rising, those market participants are, basically scaling into the crypto space. Something that we got to keep an eye on, because if we get any indications that market participation is basically deploying capital and increasing the market cap, guys, game on. We're ready to go, right? So let's see what's going on here with Bitcoin and the rest of the market. You could see that generally speaking, Bitcoin right now is showing a lot of weakness, 1.4% to the downside for the day, in the last 24 hours, that is. And we can see that we broke a little bit of structure in the sense that we broke below the previous lows, right? Horizontal support levels. We'll talk about that in more detail in a second, but let's just kind of scrape through the top 100 here to get a feel of what's happening here. BNB still looking okay, structurally speaking, based on price structure. You can see that we're still grinding to the upside. Solana is resembling the Bitcoin price at the current moment. This is a bit of an issue here, guys, because you can see that it does look like a bit of a complex head and shoulders formation. Now, the good news is that, we're looking at small fractals here. So that means that it could be a short-term dip, and then we get that bounce and continue to the upside. Short-term dips do get support eventually. We're talking about maybe a 1 hour time frame, maybe even the 4 hour time frame dip, which is not, in the short term, it could be bearish, but long term, we could still be bullish. So intraday price action, intra-week price action, just understand there's definitely opportunities to see volatility, whether it be up or down. So we got to understand that Solana right now, taking a bit of a dip alongside Bitcoin. But as we keep on going down, we see Doge looking okay. We see Tron doing fine. Toncoin taking a bit of a dip, not looking good as it broke below those previous lows. It could be just a stop hunt. We have to entertain the idea that it could be a stop hunt. Across the market, we could be seeing stop hunts, which means that we see price, fluctuate slightly below where the majority of the market has placed stop losses. And then all of a sudden, the liquidity gets hunted. We get a quick bounce to the upside, back test for confirmation, and spring to the upside. So we got to be prepared for the possibility possibility of that happening. However, if Bitcoin keeps on showing us that we're coming down to lower levels, and especially with volume, then we'll have a bit of an issue. But we'll take a look at the chart in a second to see what's going on with Bitcoin. Cardano rolling over, but no lower low just yet. AVAX is still fine, and a lot of the market is still fine because we are not making lower lows. That's super important that we understand that structure is still intact. Look at Uniswap, 3%. Look at SUI, still doing fine. Near Protocol, I know it looks bad, 5% to the downside, but we didn't break lows just yet. So it could happen, and if it does, it's not a good look. I get it, but as of now, we're not breaking previous lows, and it's likely we get a bounce or at least a reaction. Let's see what kind of bullish reaction we get. If we get a confirmation high, a lower high, then okay, now we're in trouble. We made a lower high, then we come down for a lower low. Now we created a new trend on lower time frames, meaning lower time frames, the 1 hour, the 4 hour type of thing, because we have to keep in mind that big picture daily time frames, things are starting to look really good. Just in the meantime, when we transition from bearish to bullish on the daily, it takes time, and we could see the 1 hour and the 4 hour give us many opportunities to long and short the market. Okay, so right now we're seeing Near Protocol potentially giving us that opportunity, but we're still waiting for a lot more data here to get super bearish. We're still okay. We're still okay. As we keep on coming down, Caspa not looking good. You can see we did break to the downside, breaking structure downwards, lower lows and lower highs. Maybe we come down for another lower low. Not a good look right now. 6.8% for Caspa. You know, I always felt that Caspa is slightly overvalued here at its current market cap. You know, it needs a little bit of something. And I think that little bit of something is, you know, ecosystem growth that revolves around its smart contract platform, you know, and eventually getting that going. So this is where I'm hoping Caspa eventually recuperates, you know, off of some good bullish catalyst. But at the current moment, I think Caspa is overvalued. And again, that's an opinion that I've been sharing for the last little while. Although I do hold Caspa, I did take profits on Caspa, and I am not taking any more profits on Caspa. I want to maintain my exposure to the Caspa price action just in case we do get that bounce, and I want to have that exposure. So I'm not selling anymore. As we keep on coming down, we do see a bit of a pullback. OKB has been doing great in the last little while. So what? It came down for a dip. No big deal. People take profit. That's the name of the game. Monero still looking okay. Polygon Matic, you know, didn't make major lower lows yet. Yes, it's in a bit of a downtrend, you know, three-wave structure to the downside. Okay, we're doing okay there too. And you can see, like, literally, guys, I think we're panicking a little bit too much. Bitcoin is making us panic, and we have to understand that, because when you zoom in on Bitcoin, things look bad, but zoom out because we're doing still very, very good. I'm going to scroll through this a lot quicker now. You can see we have Maker making lower lows and lower highs. Not a good look, but the rest of these guys, all of these are pretty much not breaking below. This is the old Matic, so just keep that in mind. Celestia still doing fine, and we have Ondo still doing okay, not really breaking below. Jupiter testing those previous lows. Okay, things are not looking the greatest, but you can imagine why Jupiter's falling this way is because the Solana chart right now is not looking the greatest with that head and shoulders formation, you know, following Bitcoin's kind of structure as a fractal. So we got to keep in mind that maybe that's why some of the Solana projects are not looking the greatest, right? So let's keep on going down. What else do we got here? We got dips, lots of dips. But really, structurally speaking, a lot of projects are still looking good. All right, guys, let's talk about some charts. I know here to talk about price action, so let's get to it. Bitcoin, what is Bitcoin doing? Let's check it out. Bitcoin at the end of the day is still here, doing what it's usually doing, going sideways for how long? Let's do a quick measurement. About 217 days going sideways within the range, within the structure. And as a structure, it is definitely a bullish one. Let's take a look at this in a bit more detail. You know, the reality is, again, we have to be able to analyze all kinds of time frames, but we got to choose a time frame. As a trader, you got to choose a time frame, right? And for me, I'm usually a bigger picture trader. I like the 4 hour. I like to get my convictions on the daily for Confluence and start trading the 4 hour with alongside the daily trend. That's my bread and butter. That's the way I raise capital in order to buy dips and accumulate bigger bags on certain projects. But the reality is we do get opportunities even on lower time frames, meaning 4 hour and below, 1 hour, 15 minute, 5 minute, and so on and so forth, you know, depending on how you define your strategy. And it's okay to have a strategy on that you could use on multiple time frames. But the reality is on larger time frames, we're still okay here, guys. Look at this big cup and handle. Okay, I'm not going to stress this anymore because I do talk about this a lot more. So let's start getting into lower level price action, because a lot of us are worried about what's happening with Bitcoin, because we do see Bitcoin putting a bit of pressure on some of the alts that we appreciate, right? So let's get right down to the 4 hour. We'll begin there. And you can see that Bitcoin at the end of the day has been breaking down. And you know that I put, you know, these levels of interest. I did mention that this was a great risk to reward ratio opportunity to expect a trend break. And you know, on the 1 hour, we did attempt a break of that trend. And for that matter, we kind of did. We got a quick rejection and came back down. Not a good look, okay? But it happens, guys. That rejection, like it has done in the past, happened a couple of times. So this is something that we got to understand, that the market tends to want to play games. And this is what happened. We fell below horizontal. I think we should stay on the 4 hour here for a second, because it gives us a big picture perspective. You can see these bottoms, the 200 EMA on the 4 hour. We definitely are seeing the sellers sell with that pressure. Now the question is, how low do we go, guys? The target for me at the current moment is pretty much testing these bottoms. This is where I feel like we're going to come down to, testing these bottoms, because we broke below this horizontal, Now testing the bottoms is the next spot. Now that's right around 60,500. The good news is that's where we came down before. We need to make a higher low, guys, to maintain a really good bullish sentiment. If we come down for a lower low, guys, it's not a good look. Why? Because this right here kind of confirmed a lower high after topping out here at about 66 on this level. We came down for a low, we come down here for a lower low, and then things start to look like, guess what? We're making a trend to the downside. Not a good look, right? So at that level, we start to look at horizontal supports again. How low do we go? Maybe we hit 57, maybe we hit 56. A lot of people talking about 52, including myself. This was a level of which I am interested in buying dips across the market. However, guys, take it day by day. The reality is I'm getting ahead of myself here. As you can see, you know, putting all these lines and all this artwork in here, you can see that there is levels of support. The point of control, which we're testing right now, as we can see within the structure, there's this point of control right here at about 61,000, more or less. We're testing that as we speak. We have this node of volume. We have this volume gap that we fell right through. It's a small one, but it's there, and we're potentially going to get a bounce here. I'm just not totally bearish unless we break below this horizontal right here, the point of control as well, that is pretty confluent here, and additionally getting below the 200 daily. I'm going to go back on the daily for a second quick, and you can see that the 200 daily is going to be here still acting as support, as it has done in the past, right around $60,000. So what I'm waiting for is this bounce to get a confirmation that, you know what, the bears are too strong, we're coming down. Now how low do we go? That is the question. I'm very patient here. If we break below 60,500 and we break below the 200 daily EMA, I have no choice but to start shifting myself from a bullish, neutral bullish to neutral bearish. And the reason why I say neutral is because Bitcoin is neutral. You can see that very clearly sideways. Am I going to be trading the range? Absolutely not. Am I going to be trading the range on altcoins that give me the opportunity for volatility? Absolutely. That's what I'm, focusing on, is altcoin trading. I'm looking even on spot, guys. If you get into a small market cap project, you can definitely make tons of gains trading spot bags up and down, and obviously putting a little leverage on them can definitely add some more fuel. But the reality is there's lots of opportunity for both bullish and bearish momentum on the within the altcoin market. So pay attention to those. But ultimately, guys, this is it. Do we remain bullish? I do. I remain bullish until we break below. If we do not, I am still bullish, and if we come down, I have no choice but to make a reactive move. Now, if we look at momentum, you guys know that I classify myself as a momentum trader. The reason why is because I like longer period holds. Like if I was a swing trader on let's say on this time frame, and I was only a swing trader, I would be taking profit right here and exiting. That's not my thing. I wait for momentum to show me a sign of direction. Right now, I can see that the momentum is pretty much flatlined. After about August 24th, you can see that we haven't gotten overbought or oversold, which means that we're seeing a contraction. We're seeing the volatility, the momentum basically contract while volatility goes up and down, up and down. If the momentum is not in that direction, all we are going to do is continue going sideways, bouncing up and down in some sideways price action. Now, you're more than welcome to trade the range, which is also very viable and lucrative as well for a lot of traders. But again, there's risk associated to that strategy because you get a lot of choppy price action. Now, you can, again, find some good, very tight range, very well-defined range on an altcoin and definitely trade that range. But Bitcoin right now, in my opinion, is playing too many games for me to be comfortable here. So I'm waiting for trending momentum. Momentum needs to get overbought. Momentum needs to get oversold. We need to see some sort of expansion in a clear direction so that we can trade momentum and volatility in the same direction. Now, if we kind of zoom in here on the momentum oscillator that I have here, if you want to know more information about the multi-momentum oscillator, check the description below. I do have some links for you guys if you're interested. So far, the oscillator has been doing really, really good. You can see that the last time we got a bit of a pop to the upside, we did get a bit of a jitter. My question is this another jitter? Could it be that we see the momentum, go sideways, fine, but we see volatility, get a jitter and go for another spike to the upside, right? That could happen. And it could also happen that we make another higher high. As you can see, the momentum starting from here is kind of trending, but it's not getting into the level where we expect expansion, which is above the 70, or expect a massive expansion to the downside, which is below the 30. We're not seeing the momentum get there. So could we finally get to that level where we see momentum finally shift to the upside, especially after a nice green expansion that we've gotten? You can see it in the background here. Let me get rid of some of this artwork here. You can see this nice green expansion. That's a good sign. It's a good proof of life that the bulls are trying to get in here. You can see we got one here, and then bears came in with the residual strength that they had. Look at the strength is slowly diminishing. Do we finally maybe start making massive expansions, bigger, stronger, bullish expansions as we see the bears show weakness? Class A bearish divergence right here. As the price is falling, we're seeing the momentum expansion, and the momentums basically show weakness. Very interesting times, right? So I would like to see this. I would like to see it, but again, the market does not promise you anything, so you got to prepare for the worst and hope for the best. Okay, now let's quickly get back into lower time frames once again. Let's see what the momentum. Actually, let's take a look at the trend oscillator. I'm also seeing divergence. You can see here that these expansions are slowly moving to the upside as well, and we can see that the EMAs, the exponential moving averages, or the moving averages, are also trending to the upside very clearly. And as the price action is struggling to maintain its upwards trend, you can see that the oscillators, both multi-momentum, the multi-trend oscillator, are both doing the same thing. Guys, I have an update coming around the corner with regards to the multi-trend oscillator. It's still in beta, but I'm trying to tweak it up so it can actually give us some good potential. So stay tuned for that one. In addition, again, 4 hour, let's find some confluence here. Is it pushing down? I can see it pushing down. I can see, hold on guys, I can see it pushing down. I can see, let's see what's going on here on the 4 hour. You can see momentum. Finally, it's coming down. It didn't even get overbought, guys. That's a sign of weakness in my book. Let me zoom in. Let me make this bigger so you can see what I see. You can see, like, after the momentum got up here, look at that rejection, guys. Volatility came down, straight down, but momentum didn't even go up for a higher high on the 4 hour. Okay, so it looks like the momentum is going to want to get oversold, come down to these levels, and then volatility might hesitate here, and then finally let's get the volatility up and let's get the momentum going in the same direction. And even on the 4 hour, we could get bullish. Right now, it seems like Bitcoin is in a scenario where it wants to keep on floating to the downside, and I would love to see some bullish divergence on lower time frames. Again, back to the 4 hour, some bullish divergence down here, some structural support down at these levels. Do we get it so we can get a bounce or not? That is the question, guys. Right now, Bitcoin is fighting for its life on the lower time frames, but big picture, still bullish, still neutral, looking for altcoin by the dip opportunities. Guys, if I've offered you any value here on the channel, do the channel a massive favor, slap the like button. It does really help out with the algorithm. If you want to follow me on the socials, the links are in the description below. Feel free to join the Discord, guys. The Discord is where it's at. Lots of good alpha, trade setups, fundamentals, and learning material. The best part is it's absolutely free. Take care, guys. Have a good one, and don't forget, buy the dip.